At Irvine Valley College, for your online classes and even office hours or other reasons, we use something called TechConnect Zoom. It is a version of Zoom that works very well and integrates into Canvas very well. So you go to Settings in your class, to Navigation, scroll down until you find TechConnect Zoom and enable it. Always, whenever you're in navigation, you wind up saving. And now you see TechConnect Zoom come up here on the left. When I click on TechConnect Zoom, it comes up. It takes a moment to register and find out that it's me. And now I can go ahead and create the meetings that I'm going to have in my class. So let's say I'm going to have a class every Monday and Wednesday during the semester. I can go ahead and schedule a new meeting. Type in the topic. It's nice to include the dates and times in there just so that they can see it. And when it pops up on a calendar and stuff like that, your students will know what is going on. It also helps you in your scheduling. Basically, it's just really nice to have that in there. You can put in a description. Always helps if you know ahead of time. Set the initial date and time. What is the duration? So hours and minutes. And in this case, I want to make it a recurring meeting. I want it to meet weekly on Mondays and Wednesdays and end. And let's go with May 24th. All right. Some other questions that come up that are really nice to do. You can have registration required, and they register once and can attend any of the occurrences. This is a really nice way to set it up. What happens is your students click on the link and they register. Once they have registered, they don't need to register again. They're registering in Zoom to attend this class, all of these sessions. They get their own link so that they can click on that link. They can also click in TechConnect Zoom and go in through that. But basically, this sets it up so that the students you can know exactly who the students are that are attending your class by name, by email, and that way you don't get somebody that's outside your class that you don't know trying to attend your class. If you do, and you kick them out or they cause problems, we can tell who it is as long as you have them using their South Orange County Community College credentials. soccd.edu for their email, saddleback.edu for their email, or ivc.edu for their email. Other options that come up, passcode. This is basically a passcode to let them into the course. I don't like to use that because when you send out the link, it's going to include the passcode anyway, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense to use passcode. Waiting room, this can be nice to allow people to come in and wait for you. And then when you're ready, you turn it on and you allow them in, but then you have to turn it off when you're done with the class, when you want them to just automatically come in later. So a lot of times I will leave that off myself. Only authenticated users can join meetings. Really don't want you to choose that option. The reason is because that means that the person has to have a Zoom account in order to attend your meeting. That means that they have to set up a Zoom account using their college credentials. They have to log into that account. It is not one that we provide. It is something that they would have to do on their own. So really don't want that to happen. It creates a lot of extra steps in people getting into your meetings each and every time that you're going to have your class. I like to have the video off for both the host and participant. This allows them to turn it on when they're ready, but they don't have to. They come in, you come in, and the video is off. Same thing later where it says mute participants upon entry. I like to have that happen because then you don't get somebody who joins and the dog's barking right in the middle of whatever you're saying. They unmute themselves when they're ready to speak or when you've asked them to do so. Audio, you can allow them to call in with the telephone. They can also use their computer to do audio, computer audio, cell phone audio, that type of thing is often what people use. And so having it both just allows you to have two pieces of ability for the students to participate with audio. So what that means is, say they don't have a microphone on their computer. They're using a desktop computer or something like that without a microphone or without speakers that they like. They can use their headset and their cell phone to call in. And it just gives another level of access for your students. Most people will only use the computer audio, but it gives them another opportunity if they want it. Enable join before host. This can be a really cool feature if you want to have a meeting set up that the students can go in and record themselves, for instance. You'll see here at the bottom, it says record meeting automatically. So you can have students meet and present and record, and you physically get the copy of that recording each time students record. And they can meet at 2 o'clock in the morning. You don't have to have set up that particular meeting. It's just available to them anytime they want to do it. So that's what enable join before host can be. It's up to you if you even want to turn that on or not. Nice to have if you might run a little late into your class or right on time. Allow some students to get in before class. I had mentioned before, mute participants upon entry. This allows them to unmute themselves when they're ready to talk, rather than having somebody join with noise in the background and you're in the middle of saying something. Breakout room pre-assign. This is something that you can set up if you import from your course groups and stuff like that. This allows you to import those and pre-assign the breakout rooms. It's a really nice feature so that you keep consistent breakout rooms through your course. And the students stay in breakout room 1 all the time and breakout room 2, etc. So pre-assigning breakout rooms can be incredibly useful for that. Recording the meeting automatically. You are not required to record the meeting at all. However, if you choose to, you may have an option for on the local computer or in the cloud. My recommendation is to always do it in the cloud. Understand that at Irvine Valley College, we have a 120-day retention policy. So that means that at approximately 3 months, we will delete the old videos. It's done automatically, and so you just need to download it and upload it to 3C Media, YouTube, store it someplace, whatever you're going to do with that video. So recording automatically is up to you. Even if it's not checked, you can always hit record in the meeting. So it's still available. Added additional data center regions for this meeting. I never choose this option. This is something that allows you to, say you have a lot of students who are in China, you can add China as a region, and it's supposed to make it a little better, a little more seamless for students. We've never had a problem, to my knowledge, because of not having that marked. So there's that. Alternative hosts. So you have a couple of additional options. If you have the ability of scheduling for somebody else, that's what the schedule for comes in at the bottom. And then alternative hosts. So say you have a TA that is also going to be in your class, or you have a substitute that is going to be there for a particular class or more than one or whatever. This is where you can enter their email address. They must have a Zoom account through IVC to use this. So it can't just be a student in your class. It can't just be an outside speaker or something like that. It needs to be somebody with an IVC Zoom account. When you're done, you hit save. And it takes me back to the description of this Zoom meeting. Here I can add it to my calendar. If I click on, for instance, the Outlook calendar, it gives me something, downloads it, I can open it up, and it will automatically add everything into my calendar. It's a really nice feature. I have set that people are required to register before the meeting, so I can take this meeting invitation, I can copy it, and I can email it to people. So this is a great thing to do to create an announcement. Hey, make sure you register here, and send that invitation. Maybe you edit things out of it, but send the invitation basically to your students so they get it and they can register before the first class. It will also show up in TechConnect Zoom when they click on that on the left, but it's always good to give them a couple of different ways and to get in and a lot of extra information. Security, you can see what I did not turn on in this case, but as we go down, what the settings were that I chose, and now I can delete the meeting, edit the meeting, or start the meeting, and I can create polls if I want to. So now that I've done that, I'm going to click back on TechConnect Zoom, and you're going to see that here all of the meetings that I've scheduled are there. But let's say that we have spring break that is happening, as well as some time in February that we're not going to have class. So February 20th, we're not going to have class. So I can go back. Looks like I started this February 22nd, so I can look at this, click on it, check the dates that I started it by editing the meeting, go back up. Oh, yes, February 22nd, not January. So I'm going to go back, and I'm going to pick actually January 17th. I want to make sure the end date stayed and save it. Notice I've still got the same settings I had before. TechConnect Zoom. And now you see January 18th, which is the first Wednesday in that. And as I go down here, February 20th is a date that is a holiday. So I'm going to go ahead and just simply delete that one. Delete just this occurrence. And now it goes from the 15th to the 22nd. And then as I keep going down, in March, we've got the 20th through the 24th. So I can go to page 2 here. And I can literally fix all of these. So here's March 20th, delete, just this occurrence. Go down again to the second week, and March 22nd. So I have now just deleted the ones that are associated with spring break, and I can look through the calendar and see if there's any other dates that I need to be aware of. Doesn't appear to be, so this is now ready for students. To start one of the meetings, I simply click on Start, and it will take me in, and I will be in there working in that meeting. One of the other really neat things that is available here is I can click on the 3 dots here, and I can import a meeting. When I do that, I simply type in a meeting number, and that will show up and give me, add that in, but you can only do it into one class. You can't do it something like office hours or something like that. I will explain office hours when I get into Student Connect. But this is a nice way to add in a single meeting if you want to do that for your class as well. So that's the import. And then when you have meetings, you have previous meetings that will show here. You have a personal meeting room that is set up, which I almost never use myself. But then you have cloud recordings here. And under cloud recordings, all of your recordings that are associated with this class will show up here. These are available to students. These are automatically transcribed, so they do not meet FERPA compliant, Section 508 compliance, but it can get access to these recordings very quickly. You can see the recordings, you can download the recordings, etc., all from this one screen. And so TechConnect Zoom is a really nice way of setting up Zooms in your class and being able to work within Zoom in Canvas.